So I'm a bit late to the party when it comes to this film. I wanted to see it a second time before I gave my thoughts on this, and I wanted to understand how I actually felt about this movie. I knew going out of it the first time that this film was a near masterpiece, but there was a lot I didn't get and a lot I missed. But after seeing it this second time, I enjoyed it way more than I did the first time around, and I've got a new appreciation for this film. It's just magic. The filmmaking here by Christopher Nolan is just absolutely remarkable. It is without a doubt the best screenplay I've ever seen. You've got Oppenheimer explaining science, and it's changing to shots of like atoms crashing and all this shit. And then after the bomb goes off, you're seeing Oppenheimer, really come to grips with what he's done. And it's interchanging between him talking, him seeing the future, him hearing, screaming voices. It is just, the screenplay is fucking phenomenal. Nolan was super creative in going into black and white film when you're dealing with Strauss and this court case, and then it goes back into color, which made it a bit easier to follow. I've seen a complaint that this film is overcomplicated, and I do agree with that to a certain extent. Christopher Nolan, in some of his films, he's known to overcomplicate things to a point of absolute absurdity. In this film, he does do that a little bit. Like, he really hammers some points home, and he jumps from time to time a bit too much, where it is sometimes hard to follow. That's why I needed to see it this second time. The first time around, you're not going to catch all of it. Unless you're literally Albert Einstein, you're not going to catch all of it. That's why I'm super happy I saw this the second time, because I could really understand what he was going for here. But I still think he did overcomplicate it to a certain extent. The cast here is absolutely remarkable, man. Like, again, seeing it the second time around, I noticed familiar faces even more than I did the first time. Like, holy shit, you're in this too. And I'm super happy for some of the people that are in this film. Like, I haven't seen them in big time movies in a long time. Like, you had Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You had Josh Peck in there. You even had Bernard from the Santa Claus series, and he was phenomenal in this film. All the acting, for that matter, was just 10 out of 10. I could not fault a single scene, a single line of dialogue. All the acting was just amazing. And Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr., if they don't win Oscars, the Oscars are complete dog shit. Like, they already are kind of dog shit, but if they don't win Oscars, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, it's fucking rigged. This film deals with dark subject matter, and it makes you feel uncomfortable throughout the whole thing. Like, the lead up into the bomb going off is fucking terrifying. Like, it really puts you in the first-hand position of Oppenheimer and what he's going through, and if he should really create this bomb, and if he wants it to actually be successful. And then after the explosion, when you see what he's actually dealing with, the demons in his fucking head, he's seeing shit, it's a dark movie, and they do it so well in making you just feel uncomfortable throughout the whole thing. It really makes you feel every emotion. Like, you sort of feel happy when they've succeeded in this bomb, but then you think, man, it's being used in the worst way possible. Then you feel angry when Strauss, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, is trying to fucking bring down Oppenheimer because he's a sook. And Oppenheimer's angry, and he's happy, and he's sad. It's just a roller coaster of emotions. The musical score for this film, like all of these Nolan movies, was absolutely magical, especially like the main theme song. The only problem I had with it was scenes of like real importance where the acting is just phenomenal and it's just dialogue like basically the whole movie. It's drowned out by this score for essentially 90% of the film. Like, I can only remember a scene or two where it's just silence and acting. I feel like they overused music in this film. I really cannot recommend this movie enough, but I don't recommend one viewing. I recommend two. Like, you have to see it twice to really get everything and to really appreciate everything that's going on in this film and the way that Christopher Nolan has intended it. And this film definitely won't be for everybody. Like, the casual moviegoer, I'm almost certain, is going to hate this film. Like, they're just going to think it's 3 hours of just talking, no action, Like, it's not for everybody. But if you're a Nolan fan, if you're a fan of cinema, this is going to be right up your alley. And the whole explosion and the bomb itself, this whole thing about how it was filmed in IMAX, you need to see it in IMAX, you don't. You really don't. The biggest screens we have here in Australia, they're called VMAX or Extreme Screen. I saw it in VMAX for the first time, and today I just saw it in a regular old normal cinema. And the sound is amazing in both cinemas, but the bomb itself, I didn't notice any change. Like, it all looked exactly the same to me, so you can really see it in any screen. So I definitely recommend going out to see it, as I said, twice to get everything. This is cinema that comes around once in a while. Like, this whole thing with Oppenheimer and Barbie coming out at the same time. I haven't seen Barbie yet. Definitely going to see that. But literally, to get tickets to these films is near impossible. Like, they're always packed and sold out. And it came out over a week ago. So it's just really good for film. I cannot recommend seeing this film enough. So I'm going to give this film a 9 out of 10. And again, seeing it the first time around, I actually gave this an 8, solid 8. But after the second time around, it's gone up by that extra point. So it's definitely a super good film. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. And thanks always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.